Good morning. My name is Chris Wang from Sec3, one of the co-founders. Today, my talk is about a tool help you guess IDLs, figure out IDLs from the closed source Solana programs when they don't publish IDLs. When I was backstage there, I was asked a few times, Chris, did you write the code? The answer is no. I want to highlight that Q7 is a genius here. Our in-house security savant. He couldn't make it today here, so I'm his stunt double. We'll walk you through the program. So let's dive in. So what's a pain point here? The pain point here, so if you're a Solana program developer and you want to integrate with another Solana program, the chances are if you don't have the source code, and also, if they don't publish the IDL, then you're out of luck. You're due for a lot of work. Same thing applies to security researchers like us. So what is IDL? IDL essentially are instruction manuals tell you how to interact with a Solana program. Without it, you're sort of in duck. Here's some stats I think should probably worry a lot of people. For the top 100 Solana programs, only about 50% publish their IDLs. For top 1,000 program, and that number goes down to 20%. Publish. The one who publish their IDLs goes down to 20%. And that creates a lot of problem, for sure. So why do we even care? Because every integration and every meaningful security analysis, be that static or dynamic, all start with very fundamental basic questions. How do I even talk to that program? Without IDL, it's like you don't have operation manual, you want to operate a machine, a complicated machine. That at a minimum create a lot of work. I wouldn't say impossible. For some very capable people, they're going to figure it out. But it's create a lot of work and unnecessary opacity. And also from our perspective, security researchers' perspective, this lack of transparency high security risk. So now, me, the IDL Guesser here, it is an open source standalone tool that can figure out IDLs and pretty good accuracy if that program is written in Anchor. And why it works? The reason why it even possible work is because one word answer, Anchor. And I'll dive into that a little bit. Anchor, most of you probably are very likely to be very familiar with Anchor already. That's a dominant go-to framework to write Solana programs. Not only Anchor provides convenience, security, but also it provides a roadmap. It leaves a lot of markers and DNAs in the program. So we build a microscope to pick up those clues and pick up those markers and put together a roadmap. That's how it works. So big picture. So we'll start with the entry point. And then first we need to figure out what instructions are there. And fortunately, Anchor inserts a function at the beginning of every instruction handler. So from there, we dig in, and we figure out what instructions are there. And next, after the instruction, we need to figure out accounts. What are accounts those instructions have, and what constraints they may have. For that, also, there is a function Anchor puts into for each account. They use this as a try account function. and go through from there, and we go through this control flow graph, especially the successful passes that will give us the account name, order, and so on and so forth. Also, there are unsuccessful passes. And from there, and from the error code, we figure out what constraints should be there. Lastly, is parameters. It's a little bit more involved there because there's not a clear patterns there, so it's a lot of trial and error, brute force, educated guess, and iterations. But I'll see at the end of the day, the tool does a fairly good job in figuring out those. Here's a real example. The fonts are probably too small, so you just have to trust me on this. On the left is a anchor-generated IDL, clean, beautiful, all correct. On the right side is what this tool spells out. And the very top, even though it's highlighted in red color, but it's really, one tells you it's anchor-generated, the other tells you it's this IDL Guesser generated. The move to the next section is the instruction name and discriminators. The tool gets them mostly right. Then move into the next section, that's account name, constraints, whether it's a signer, whether it's mutable or not. The tool also gets that's right. What is missing here in this example is that IDL Guesser had a difficult time figuring out the structural account relations. Also, if you care about the bumps and seeds, that's really not well suited for this tool to figure out. We're getting into a lot of more technical details there. If you care about those, go into the GitHub repo. There is a back and forth clear answer. Somebody raised a question, and there was a good discussion there. So in case you're interested, I would say at the end of the day, even though it's called a guesser, but the tool does a fairly decent job in figuring out the IDLs. So what we're going to do about this is certainly, to us, is not the end goal here. We hope it's a bridge. It's a bridge to help shed my light to the Solana programs who don't have source code, who don't have IDLs. I think transparency is going to carry a lot of benefits, especially from the security standpoint. Also, we hope this tool is going to help decode transactions. With IDL, if you have a correct IDL, you know what's that transaction mean. So on and so forth. Also, this is an open source tool, so we hope this empowers open source community. Everybody can build on top of it. I guess the message here is that for those programs who don't publish their IDLs or have outdated IDLs, so publish your IDLs. If you don't, then we'll try to use this tool to figure it out. Transparency has been recognized by the Solana community for a long time, and there's a lot of effort in the past. There were a lot of effort in the past and ongoing effort in trying to tackle that problem. I'm very happy to report that this tool won the first prize in the reverse engineering track of this Redact hackathon that the community organized. It took the first prize. And I want to quote what Judge wrote here, is that this standalone open source tool extracts the IDL from Anchor program through clever analysis. And it works really well. It's a massive improvement to the life of many devs who want to integrate. I hope many of you guys are here today listening to this, and feel free, please do check out our GitHub repo and use it and start it and follow it and add to it. Also, we wrote a pretty detailed technical blog about it, and it's hosted under our website, sec3.dev. With that, that concludes my talk today, and thank you very much.